Move over, kids! It is I, Ken, your host, and today I want to talk about Nintendo Labo. It's been 48 hours since the reveal, and I wanted to wait some time. I actually waited 24 hours, but I did a video that was just a little too negative. I don't want to be so negative that I just don't want to be that. I don't want to be that guy, okay? I don't want to be negative. But I will say I had a negative response to the people's negative response to Nintendo Labo. Spoiler alert, I love the idea. I love the idea for my children, not necessarily for me, even though I cannot wait to put on that giant robot and smash a city and some aliens. However, when Nintendo Labo came out, there was a backlash, an instant backlash. Believe it or not, the internet is not a nice place. People are mean, and they take out their frustrations on the entire world. They just throw out negative comments into the void that is the internet. And that's what they did with Nintendo Labo. It took a little bit of time, but the response now seems to be swaying back to, dude, you're 30 years old, get a life. I fall in the dude, you're 30 years old, get a life. And I am 38 years old, so maybe I am speaking to myself. Maybe I should get a life. Look at all that Zelda stuff behind me. I should probably be buying Nintendo stock and not Zelda stuff. Regardless, Nintendo released this thing and it's cardboard, and let's backtrack a little bit before that. And the way Nintendo released this I thought was brilliant and perfect. A couple days prior to the Labo release, they did a Nintendo Mini Direct, and it was great that they called it a Mini Direct because, you know, as a Nintendo fan, we automatically get our hopes up. We're all always like, oh, are we going to get Smash Brothers? Oh, are we going to get Pokemon? Oh, where's Metroid 4? We see these directs, we get our hopes up, and then when they reveal awesome games and they show us awesome new stuff, we get all bummed out and we just rage on the keyboard saying we didn't get Mother 3. But because they called it a Nintendo Direct Mini, all it was ports. Oh, hey, Mario Tennis, ports. Because it was a mini, we say, hey, cool, Dark Souls, cool, on the Switch. And then we move on with our lives. Well, 2 days later, Nintendo released this cryptic tweet, be prepared or something for kids and kids at heart. And so we're all like, what does that mean? What does that mean? What could it mean? And maybe some people were thinking maybe a Switch Mini. I don't know what they were thinking. But we get there, and just about everybody is, just myself included, at a loss for words. We're watching this thing. I did a reveal video where I'm watching it in real time and my response, whatever, so you can catch that. But we're just watching it, and nobody knows what to say. I don't know what to say. It's literally this, like, cardboard. It's almost like VR, but it's not, but it is. Even maybe it's even more VR, because instead of just, like, looking, you actually have to it's this contraption where you have to wear a backpack and you're fighting a robot as you're looking at it, or you're making a piano. So I don't know. It's like VR half or VR 1.5. I have no idea what this is, but it's Nintendo Labo. And so instantly people are just like, oh, I'm not going to let my kid play with a $300 console. And I'm thinking to myself, you're not going to let your kid play with a $300 console? I mean, I get it. I love Nintendo, but the console is actually for the kid, not for me. Honestly, maybe I should have grown out of it. I didn't. I'm not gonna. But it's more for my kids. It's more for kids than it is for me. Or maybe it's at least equal at this time. Because let me tell you something. When I think back to my early childhood days, when I first started playing video games. Actually, when I first started playing video games, it was the Atari. But the Atari was a dead system. E.T. had come out and destroyed Atari. And but my dad had some. So I was playing the Atari and even the Commodore 64. But it was Nintendo that really kind of I had Rob the Robot, I had the trackpad, Duck Hunt. Did you notice how I described that, my early Nintendo? I described 3 gimmicks. actually. And each of those 3 gimmicks only really had 1 game. Yeah, I think the Rob Robot had 2 games, actually, but really only the one he came with. And that thing was horrible. It did not work proper or whatever. I never could get it to work. But I remember it. It's a fond memory. The trackpad, you know, you're running with your friends. again, one game that we had, and then you discover that you can just hit it, and so now you're racing with your hands against someone, racing with your feet. Again, a gimmick thing, but I've had fond memories of it. And the Duck Hunt gun, everybody remembers the Duck Hunt gun. And did you know that you could play 2-player Duck Hunt? Yeah, if you press select, you could actually be the duck. The second player could be the duck. Crazy, I know. And it's in the booklet. We used to have to read on paper what to do in our video games. Crazy, I know. Get off my lawn, kids. That's how old I am. 38. And I have 2 kids, 5 and 3. And let me tell you something. I think this Nintendo Labo is going to be bigger or better than those 3 gimmicks that I mentioned. But those 3 gimmicks I mentioned bring back fond memory of my childhood. And this Labo is going to do the same for my kids. This Labo is going to be great for my kids. It's definitely for that target audience, the kids that Nintendo tweeted out to. It's spot on. It's brilliant. And people are like, oh, cardboard, why do I have to pay so much for cardboard? And, well, it's more than cardboard. For one, it has all the cuts and all that stuff, but still, it's still cardboard. I don't know. It's a game. The cartridge alone is going to cost $10, but then you get the mini games with it and all that stuff. I mean, look at 1-2 Switch. That came out at what, $50, $60, and other than Quick Draw and a couple of the other things, was kind of not worth it. But this I see as worth it. You're getting all the materials, you're getting the game, you're getting quality time with your kids too. If I did not have kids, would I get this? I'd be like, wow, this is really cool. This is really interesting. I wish they had this when I was a kid. But since I am not a kid, I will not buy this. I would save my money for, I don't know, a Zelda Game Watch, the white wristband, which I don't have. But because I have kids, I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. This is really good quality time. I'm going to tell you, $70 to $80 for all that stuff. And don't forget also, actual software engineers went into building this stuff. It took a long time to create this stuff. They always try to make it the cheapest possible, but they can't just give away their talents, their stuff. And I think it's going to be a giant success because, man, I'll tell you what, even my wife, she's probably the definition of casual gamer, and she is looking at that and she's like, wow, that is really cool. That's not that much money for what it is, for what it allows. She says she would be playing on the piano all the time as a kid if that was available. And if you look at it, it's more. You can tune it. You can, there's strings. It's intricate. It's like engineering and stuff. And it's just like, you can tell your kid to get off the Switch and do something in the real world, but he's building something with his Switch. So it's kind of like, meeting in the middle. It's a halfway smile. Nintendo is all about creating experiences. They want to create a full-blown smile. And you gamers out there, you hardcore gamers out there, you're getting Dark Souls. You've gotten Skyrim. You got Breath of the Wild. Metroid 4 is coming. Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3 are coming. They're on the horizon. But let's give the kids something too. Because we were once kids. We were once running with a trackpad. So anyways, I'm just really positive and looking forward to the Labo. Not so much so I can play it, but so much I can watch my children play it. And then I can hear how they remember it way down the road. So I want to thank Nintendo for this. So anyways, it is dangerous to go alone. Please share this with a friend. Nintendo Labo rules!